Good day, Minecraftians. Purple Mentad here, bringing you episode 23 of my Agrarian Skies Hardcore Quest Let's Play series. This game pack by Jadedcat is available on the Feed the Beast launcher. As promised, since last time, I've set up a bunch of farms. I'm going to show you the wiring and all of that on those in just a moment. I want to come over here and show you how my sewer quest is doing. I am at 65% complete. Reconfiguring this to use one sewer with a tin upgrade in it, definitely the right call, moving much faster now. Also, I cleaned everything up over here, got the wiring set up, and I turned off the rancher because I had over 8,000 buckets of milk. I don't think I will ever need more milk than that in this pack. Oh, you're in the wrong spot. Hey, where'd that letter go? Well, it's gone forever now. Oh, it went into my inventory. It's a good place for it. Whatever. Too much of a pain. Apologies for my voice today. I am still not 100% recovered from PAX. I sound like a little bit of death. Not like I'm dying entirely, but a little bit. So let me show you what I did with the farms. I still have my applied energistics cabling running in from here. I have every farm set up with only one type of seed. For example, this one is set up with seeds. I'm sending nether wart into all of them as well because I still want to be doing 4 nether wart per place. And I'm also doing 4 sugar cane per farm. But I don't need to give those any like extra. They're good with just the sugar cane I initially plant is all that's needed. And I have 1 tesseract per 2 harvesters, and I have the energy conduits. Well, let me show you that in more detail. Running underneath and up into the tesseract. So there you have it. That is my system at current. And then these ME cables are running up to the next planter. You can follow the cabling all the way around. Whoops, that'll fix itself when it replants. Actually, I can just make it fix itself now. The cables are running under here, power from the tesseract going underneath, and I just have that precision export bus on each one of these planters. No problem. And there is room to very easily add 3 more harvesters and 3 more planters by expanding this way, because these tesseracts are currently only half used. And it's entirely possible to set up in a way that uses less tesseracts if you don't have those kinds of resources. But at the moment, I do, so there's no reason not to. So I'm just gonna get all of these filled back in and covered up, and move on to the next bit of fun. I know I was promising at the end of the last video that I would do some Thaumcraft stuff today. That may or may not happen. I have to see exactly what I can get through, because the priority for the day is to get the world download ready, as I am now going to be sharing what I've done with all of you. You'll have to forgive a little bit of silliness out of me today as, well, frankly, things are strange in my head at the moment because of post-con burnout. It was actually a really exciting time. It was my first time at that sort of event in my life. I've been to smaller things, but never something on the sheer scale as PAX. And just getting to, meet and shake hands with AMS and Slowpoke really made the weekend for me. It was a special time. I will definitely be doing this again next year if I have any opportunity to do so. Though I may try to set up so that I work a little less and get to enjoy the con a little more. That would be pretty good, actually. And there we have it. I also planted these over here. You can't really see it at the moment, but these are spice leaves. Yes, spice leaf. And this here is onion, which you can see here. And the reason for that is I'm going to need onions to make the hearty breakfasts. and I'm going to need the spice leaves to make the spaghetti, both of which are needed. I set the melons up a little bit differently. With with the harvester running constantly, this will actually have a higher throughput because each of these each of these stems has a chance to generate a melon in any of the blocks surrounding it, and then it'll get scooped up by the harvester very quickly. So if you're constantly, watching, you will get higher throughput this way. The other setup that I had earlier with just a string of seeds down the center and every stem would grow its own melon is a better setup if you're harvesting manually, because you'll have more melons grown every time you go over to pick things up. The problem with this kind of setup, if you're harvesting manually, is if a melon grows here, well, these two stems are done. And then if one grows here, well, you've got a whole bunch of stems that just end up not doing anything because they're attached to a melon that's already grown. All right, show you the rest of what I did between episodes. Besides extend this road all the way out. And I guess I can close this. Well, maybe I can't close this off because I don't have the materials handy. There we go. Bump, 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 bump. Haha. All of the barrels that were here holding monster drops, I have used an import bus and put into the AE system. I tore down this entire building here for a couple of reasons. One, it wasn't really serving much purpose because I was set up the assembly chamber in here. I decided to move all of my applied energistics and extra cells items into here. Made a second disk drive because I'm rapidly running out of storage in these, and I'm probably going to start building some very large, very specialized drives. And this is my input default, where you can see it's sending energy, receiving items and fluid with the fluid import bus and the interface. And you can see things popping in. It's going quite well. I have an absolute massive amount of mob essence, which is going to be very, very useful in the very near future. I have a great plan for that, and I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. Let's see, what else do I got going on? I discovered that these ender generators will cap out at 20 hours of time. So I'm going to actually be making use of that. I have enough ender pearls and blaze powder and such coming in that I'm probably going to build more of these as I need more power. The gunpowder generators, the TNT generators, let me show you how much gunpowder I have. They're doing quite well, and I thought I had more gunpowder than I was using, but they are basically using all of the gunpowder that my mob farm down there is producing. I think I'm getting a small profit slowly, but I haven't actually had any filtering into the system yet. So I don't want to rely on any more of those. I feel like I've hit my maximum for that. But with the ender generators, one ender pearl and one blaze powder makes an IF ender, which is 25 minutes of 80 RF a tick. It's pretty fantastically fuel efficient. And let me show you how many ender pearls that I have. It's crazy. Let's see if I can actually, right click the proper block. So yeah, I have over 324 ender pearls right now, which if I were to toss all of those into the generators, that would get me 8,000 minutes of power, which is like 135 hours worth of 80 redstone flux a tick. I've got literally power for about a week. And that's, assuming I wouldn't get any more, but there's more pouring in all the time. FPS issues. You guys probably noticed that I'm not having nearly as many as I used to. I figured out exactly what was causing most of them, and it was the lighting engine. Minecraft's lighting engine kind of sucks, but there's a way you can change that. If you go to your video settings, just turn your smooth lighting off. Everything else can be set to high, fancy, far, max FPS, whatever you want to do. As long as smooth lighting is off, I've been getting pretty good frames per second and a lot less chunky nastiness, pausing, freezing every few steps. Now, let me turn the brightness down so that I can show you what effect that has. You can see that you end up with this really kind of nasty tessellated effect from the lighting from at night with the torches. But if I turn the brightness all the way back up, then it's really not noticeable. It's not a big deal. And if I sleep through the night and then turn the brightness all the way down again, you can see that in the day, it's not that big of an issue either. So, I mean, it's a little bit of a problem inside, but outdoors, you can't notice it because the sunlight. Ugh. Yeah. So, yeah, what this basically means is if you're having any sort of problem with graphical or CPU related lag, one of the best first things to do is turn that smooth lighting off. And having the brightness on bright instead of moody, it's not the greatest for playstyle reasons. I feel like it's a little bit more challenging and a little bit more fun with the brightness on moody, but it's just you do what you got to do to make the game function and run in a way that's actually enjoyable. So, what are my plans for today? Well, I wanted to show you what I did with all of the AE, and I wanted to show you what I did with the farms. Oh, one other thing. That's weird. Green stained clay cover. Green stained clay cover. That is really strange. A little bit of an inventory tweaks bug, I assume. I think inventory tweaks in this pack is a little outdated compared to the current release, but I'm sure that'll be changed in time. If I take a look in my assembly chamber, you can see that I've taught it an awful lot of things. I've taught it how to make hearty breakfast and all of the components. I've taught it how to make spaghetti and meatballs with all of the components. Taught it how to make harvesters with the Invar axes, the shears, and the redstone reception coils. I've taught it flower pots with planters. If I go to the next page, yeah, I've taught it almost every recipe there is for applied energistics and extra cells. And also, I've been tossing more and more recipes into this redstone furnace on top of this ME interface. It knows how to make bread, toast, glass, rubber bars, advanced processors, raw plastic, basic processors, pork chops, and bricks. It does not yet know how to make steaks, which I'm going to actually need either a second furnace or a second interface on this furnace to teach it so. And honestly, having a second furnace or having a handful of furnaces is not a bad idea given what we're dealing with. So the reason I wanted to teach it all of that is if I take a look in my quest book, extra random bits from my farm, so let me get rid of those real quick. If I look at the Hell's Kitchens quests and I take a look at, say, the Hearty Breakfasts, I only need 100 of these. I can probably tell it to make most of that right now. I made one as a test, and let's see what happens if I tell it to make 99 more. 99, not 66. Take a look at my crafting monitor. It is making toast. It is going to have to make a lot of toast, but you can see it just flashes through real quick. So yeah, I'm just going to let that process, see how many breakfasts I can get out of it before I run out of materials. I think that I'm going to have plenty. And I believe that that is a pretty good spot to start working on some magic. I have plans to use more tech to supercharge these farms, but honestly, I'm just tired of working with Applied Energistics and Mine Factory Reloaded and Thermal Expansion right now, and I want to do some of the wizard quests. I'm tired of walking at this speed. I want to go faster. I want to be able to fly. There's a lot of really cool things I'll be able to do once I have the wizard quest chain complete. So let me just empty out my inventory and go get myself set up to show you how to power through learning all of the aspects of Thaumcraft and exactly why you would want to do so. Be right back. And I'm back. Okay, so why Thaumcraft? Well, besides the obvious part of wanting to complete every quest available, and the next one requiring me to do research to get the focus pouch available, I really love this mod and the methods and all of the mechanics and everything that it adds. And some of the tools are just fantastic. Plus, I'm a sucker for magic. I prefer fantasy over sci-fi. I prefer tech. I prefer something magical, something alchemical to something based on science. Not entirely, like my favorite is to blend the two, but I really feel like Thaumcraft actually manages to do a little bit of that. It's also why Thermal Expansion is my favorite default like power type mod that adds ore processing and everything, because I feel like the redstone flux takes the kind of Magitech feel of redstone and expands upon it. Ooh, sun's going down. I should go sleep while I keep talking. So the basics of Thaumcraft are, it's based on every item, everything in the game, every block has some sort of built-in magical essence to it, which are called the aspects of magic. And if you open your Thaumonomicon, you can mouse over aspects of magic, and it tells you all about the building blocks and everything. I'm not going to go over all of this because this is actually available in-game for you to learn, and it's a really great way to play through this mod is to come in here, read everything, experience it. It's one of the other reasons I love Thaumcraft is it was, I believe, the first one to add this sort of in-game resource where you wouldn't need to reference an outside wiki or any walkthroughs at all to be able to play the mod and actually accomplish everything in it. The way Thaumcraft works in this mod pack, it is on what is called the simple research settings. What this means is that if I were to here, I think I have everything for alchemy. Yeah, if I wanted to learn night ore specifically, I could mouse over it and it tells me that I can click to purchase this research for 3 of that candle looking thing and 1 of that flame looking thing. And now I'm going to show you what those are. Those are the aspects of magic. So if I come in here and I take a look, well, I've got 3 lux, and it tells me that lux is made with air and ignis, and that's the candle looking thing. And if I mouse over lux, it shows me that a torch has 1 point of it. And I also have 19 ignis, which is the fire looking guy that I needed to make the night ore, plus ignis plus air equaling lux. I have 19 air. So you can start to get some idea of what's going on here. And I haven't scanned anything that has ignis in it, but if I scroll through, I can see I have some ordo, some perdicio, which cobblestone contains, and some terra, which the gravel road contains 1 point of. And I've learned Saxum, which requires 2 terra to make, and you can see that the gravel road, the edged stone, or no, that's the border stone alternate, the cobblestone wall, and the edgestone brick all contain some of, with the edgestone brick containing 2 Saxum. Now, how do you go about learning new aspects? There's 2 primary methods. First of all, there's 2 and only 2 methods. First of all, you scan new things in the world, and you can mouse over with this thermometer here. And if you mouse over something that you've already scanned, it'll tell you exactly what aspects are in it. So I can see I've scanned the gravel road. This is the gravel road cover, but there's nothing to learn from that because of reasons. The torch, green stained clay, I can't learn yet. I have to, or actually nothing can be learned from that, which is a little odd. But something more complicated like the golden lander, I scan that and it says I do not have all the knowledge required to understand this. That's because there are a lot of these aspects of magic and I need to learn all of them to be able to progress further. Now, the second way to unlock aspects is to make myself a research table, which is done with 2 of these tables from Thaumcraft that I had to make last time and 1 scribing tools. And since I've been getting free glass bottles for reasons, I made myself the scribing tools out of a feather, glass bottle, and some ink. And then I just put this glass bottle on top of 2 tables next to each other, and it transforms into a research table. In this pack, the only use of the research table is to create aspects. So, for example, if I wanted to take 2 terra and combine them I could say I want more Saxum, is what I'm trying to say. I can click terra to put it over there and click it again to put it over here, and then I can click combine, turn 2 terra into 1 Saxum. And you can see down here I gained 1 research point for Saxum. Now, if I wanted to unlock something like Victus, I could do so by combining 1 terra with 1 aqua. And with those 2 together, I click combine, and poof, I've discovered Victus. When you discover a new aspect, you gain 2 bonus points in it no matter how you discover it. However, scanning doesn't cost anything, and you can see that every aspect you create in the research table costs 2 of a lower tier aspect. And as you get to more and more complicated aspects, you need to combine more and more of the base ones to move your way up. Now you'll notice that both Terra and Ordo have gained a little shiny star next to them. Those are research bonus points. If you run yourself entirely out of aspects, you can use 1 extra point in those from the bonus point before it disappears from your table entirely. What aspects have bonus points are decided by the surrounding area. So the fact that I'm near all of this stone is giving me that extra point of Terra, and I wonder where the Ordo is coming from, honestly. It might be the lantern, it might be the chest, it might be something on this side. I'm not 100% certain how far this research table scans to find those bonus aspects. It's never been something I've needed to use, but I might actually need to make use of it in this pack because resources are going to be scarce. One of the primary sources of more aspects is from aura nodes. And unfortunately, there is a distinct lack of aura nodes available in this particular pack because they only spawn near the ground. If I wanted to find natural spawning aura nodes, I need to go all the way down to right next to the void and start building a platform down there. That's a little more dangerous than I'm interested in getting involved with. Now, I think that there's some aura nodes put into the game by the people who created this map somewhere around the starting map. It would take me a lot of rather dangerous exploring to find them, so I'm not going to be chasing after them right now, but maybe that'll be a good use for the flight potion. So what I prefer to do for learning new aspects is to scan items, and I've kind of come up with, well, actually I haven't come up with it all. I've found a very nice list of this is how you can scan everything. On that list is creating Victus through the research table, which is why I showed you that one in particular. And steps 1 and 2 are to scan torches and scan cobblestone. To continue on, I'm going to need to scan coal, this bowl, and these seeds. And so I just toss the coal item on the ground, hold right click, scan it, and there, I've learned Potentia. And now if I scan the bowl, I've learned Vacuous, and the seeds will teach me Granum. And I can go back into the Thaumanomicon and show you some of these aspects now. There's a nice little shiny bit there saying that something new has happened, and also it'll light up a big shiny bit when I learn something new in that area. That's more useful in the basic pack because I would need to, get myself a research note, take it to the table, play a mini game. I'll show you that when I'm playing another series, and in this one, it's just not needed. So if I take a look, if I go down here to Granum, I see that that's made with Victus and Ordo, so we're already at 3 basic aspects just to make that one. Potentia is made with Ordo and Ignis, so that's not too bad. Alright, I'm going to get together what I need to collect the next set of aspects, and I'll be right back. Very next on the list, I need to scan some grass, which I have plenty of over here in the sheep pen. And I want to scan this grass block so I can unlock the herba aspect. And now that I have herba unlocked, I can toss this piece of oak on the ground, either in item form or in block form, and scan it to unlock arbor. Punch that down. If I toss it on the ground, you can see that the item form has the exact same stats as the block form. And now that I have wood and now that I had grass, which is needed to learn wood, I can well, now that I have wood, which I needed grass to learn, I can come over here and scan this jaded ladder, and I hope learn Modus. There we go, which got me 3 points of that. And Modus is made with, where'd it go? Air and aqua, but that jaded ladder, it had 3 points of arbor in it. Now, I can next scan this bit of iron, and that will teach me metallum. And now I've discovered a clue to new research. If I open up my manual, it doesn't tell me exactly where that is, but if I come down to alchemy, I can see, oh look, this magical metallurgy wasn't there before. The primary way of getting clues to new research is to scan lots and lots of items, and when you gain a certain aspect from scanning, you will unlock potentially a new research. In the normal version, this would be a research note, which you could then take to your table and, learn the new research from. In this version, it just unlocks something else for you to buy. So next on the list, I needed a potion of weakness, but I'm hoping that this splash potion of super awesomeness that I got will suffice. Yes, no, that was one aqua. That was totally not what I needed. So let me see what else I have available. And one other thing that's great, all of these shards are a great source of aspects of their type. Unfortunately, I don't seem to have any more air shards, but we'll change that in a moment. So you can see they contain their type. They contain vitreous, which is, glass or see-through, and they contain precantatio, which is the magic aspect. Also, if I apologize if I'm mangling the pronunciation of these, but I'm not going to stop. One other great thing about this, if I mouse over an item in my inventory and I hold shift, it will show me what aspects are on that item. That's also a good way to check, oh, I haven't actually scanned the table yet. But I don't have everything I need to learn to scan the table, but I haven't scanned stone slabs. You want to eventually end up scanning every single item that you own or have made, and as you make new items, you're going to want to scan them because you're going to need a lot of these research points to be able to complete everything. I wonder if the delighted meal is worth anything. It is. I just can't make it yet because, I haven't gotten that far. Okay, so I'm going to need to get myself a potion of weakness. Let me set my auto brewer up real quick and make myself one of those. Correction, there is a workaround for the potion of weakness. I needed to get Precantatio and the Mortus aspect from that. And to get Mortus, I can simply come into here and I can combine Victus and Perdicio. And if I combine them, boom, Mortus. Mortus? However you want to pronounce it. So there we go. That gets me past that little hurdle. Next on the list is a chicken. I have one of those waiting for me over in my sheep pen. Run in, run in. I really need to stop running everywhere, but I get tons of food, so why not? Chicken, chicken, stay put. Oh, there we go. I researched the chicken. I learned Bestia and Volatus, both of which very important, especially Bestia because it's the building block for higher versions of consciousness. Well, more evolved life forms, I should say. And let me show you what I've got here. I made myself a cake using flour, sugar, egg, and fresh milk, all of which I have a ton of, because that's going to be an important thing to scan in a moment. Soul Sand contains Vinculum and Spiritus, which allows me to research paper. Where'd it go? To learn Cognito, or Cognitio, which is a very important aspect for, increasing research. Normally, if we were in any pack with this one, I would be strongly advising you to learn research expertise and its advanced forms before doing any other research because they help a lot. However, in this version, there's really no need to do that. This does not help with the simple version at all. But it does unlock something that will, and we'll probably get to that today. So, after Cognitio comes Rotten Flesh, which will contain Humanus and Corpus, two very important aspects for golem creation. After learning, people and, meat and people, I can then research some flint, which will teach me about tools, instrumentum. After flint, next stop along the way for the power research is wool, teaching me about Fabrico, which is crafting, and Panis, or cloth. And that unlocks the research for... it's not here. It's an artifice, isn't it? Yes, it is. Enchanted Fabric, which I could honestly learn right now. That'll allow me to make some really cool robes and such to progress myself a little further. But that'll come with time. After my wool, then I can scan my cake, and this is going to be worth a lot of points. Or nothing can be learned from it that way. Maybe I need to put it in the world. Yes, there we go. Sano and Famis, hunger and healing and hunger respectively, and then a whole bunch more stuff. Now, the more complicated the item, which this is a fairly complicated item, it took a lot of things to create, the more aspects that it has contained within it. For example, I could scan this gold chest now, and I could learn some really cool stuff from it, but we'll get to that in a moment. Obsidian, fairly basic item, contains Tenebrae, the darkness aspect. And this is all of the aspects that have a prerequisite to them, or it's all of the prerequisites available, but it's not quite all of the aspects in the game. So I'm going to go grab the rest of what's needed, and I'll be right back. All right, I am back again with more things to research. If I research ice, I learn gellum. If I scan ender pearl, I pick up alienus and iter. Travel, or, alienness and travel. I also learn a new research, which if I go over to, I believe, artifice it is, I can see I've unlocked the paving stone of travel, which I can replace my roads with that, and I'll get a movement speed boost just for walking on them. It requires some rewiring, as I've got my, power running down the center of my road. If I scan diamond, I learn about lucrum, which is, I think, preciousness, expensive things. Slime ball teaches me about limus. The fence gate will teach me about machina, but I could also scan, for example, a lever for that to get some of that as well. And this redneck cable, I bet, will have some. Oh, nothing can be learned from that. I wonder what the crucible has. Basic export bus. Fluid duct. I'm getting distracted now. It happens very easily in this mod. You end up scanning everything. All right, need to scan bone. That teaches me about corpus and, mortus. That would have handled that. At some point, I need to go downstairs and scan one of those skeletons or zombies. Actually, I think I have a better way to do that. Let me go see if I have any available. I think if I scan one of their heads, I can get the same aspects. And I have quite a few. I have 1 zombie head and 9 enderman heads. It seems that while the grinders give, gear drops and such, they do not give the, rare head drops that the punji sticks did. All right. Nope. Corpus, spiritus, and mortus. Enderman head. Nothing can be learned from this. That's a shame. So I am going to need to go scan a zombie or skeleton at some point to learn the Ex Animus research aspect. Or I could come over here and I could combine in my now very full research table Victus and Mortus. Oh, I'm sorry, that gets me Spiritus. I'm really not certain what Ex Animus is created from now. I'd have to look that up, but I can go downstairs and scan me some monsters in a little bit. Between now and then, though, I need to scan a spider eye, an arrow, and some leather. The spider eye gets me the poison aspect of Vintium. It also gets me Census. Arrows get me Tellum, the weapon aspect, and a new research clue. I'm not even certain what this one is. Ah, the bone bow. I do not recognize that one. That must be new from the last time I did a lot with Thaumcraft. Leather teaches me about Tutamin, which is the armor type. Seems to have opened up. I'm sure it opened up something. Whoops. And you got to be careful where you click. I just learned myself magical metallurgy. That's all there is to it. If you want to learn something, you just left click on it and you spend the points to learn it. And I can see that I can now make thaumium by tossing iron ingots in a crucible, which that whole thing is explained in this research right here, and I'll get into, I'll show it on camera, but I'm not going to, read you what's in the Thaumonomicon. All right, a little bit more to learn. I should be able to scan my pickaxe at this point, or maybe I'll accidentally toss my, well, that's odd. Just a moment. Okay, bit of a glitch there, but, my thermometer disappeared slightly, but once I sorted with inventory tweaks, it showed back up. So no problem. Did not need to cheat anything back in because of glitches. If I scan the flux infused pickaxe, I learn about instrumentum. Well, I'm supposed to learn about the mining aspect from that. Hang on, I gotta go make myself a pickaxe. I believe I can just make a quick iron pickaxe. It's not going to be very useful for much, but it'll be good for learning the aspects. In fact, I believe it'll be completely useless for almost all things. So if I scan this, there we go. I learned about Perfodio, which is the mining aspect. And maybe I'll find some use for that later on. I can also come over here and scan some farmland. If I can find some that I can actually spot. Oh, you know what I can do? I can just dig right there. And if I scan this farmland, oh, that's reading as dirt. It's still reading as dirt. Well, dirt's worth Terra. Okay, so I'm going to need to make another hoe. No problem. Grab some Invar. Grab some sticks. Craft a hoe. And scan it. I do not have all of the knowledge required to understand this. That's interesting. What am I possibly missing? Hang on, let me find out. Oh, you know what it is? Before I can scan the hoe, I need to actually scan a crop, which somehow I have not yet done. So I'm going to scan me some wheat. And there, I learned about mesos. And mesos is one of the required components for mito, which is what I was trying to learn from that hoe in the first place. So there we go. Now, let me do a quick check through of my aspects at the research table. And any that I don't have yet, I'll show you how to combine real quick. Let's see. Yep, that's one that's almost always messing. I don't know if it's used for much, but if I combine vacuous and ordo, I get tempest. Time, moment, eternity. And any of the ones that I'm not showing in the table, you can go to the aspects of magic and you can see how they're created. No problem, right? Okay, so Aurum. I need Aurum, which is air and Precantatio. The only things you can scan to get Aurum are ethereal essences or aura nodes themselves. So I'm going to combine those in there. I've learned about Aurum. Fantastic. I do not have Ex Animus, which is Motus and Mortus. Motion and death gives us undeath, Ex Animus. I am missing one that I can actually get from a different metal. Let me show you that real quick. I think it's on tin, and if it's not tin, then it's on copper. It's one of those two, I'm sure of it. Getting a couple of different kinds of copper, and my whole ore production system is currently backed up because of lack of hammers. And I'm going to fix that sometime very soon. But right now I've got a ton of resources and I want to show you guys some cool stuff before I go back to managing machines. Oh, tin contains vitreous. There we go. Copper contains permutatio. And that is the aspect of change. Very, very useful, especially for creating golems, which is one of the coolest things that's available in Thaumcraft. Here we go. We've got Perditio and Precantatio to get Vitium. Vitium, the taint aspect. And that makes every single aspect fantastic. Can't do anything about this rain. I should set up some forestry things to get rid of it, but in the future. Be right back. Okay, just double checked everything. That is indeed every single aspect of Thaumcraft in one quick blitz. So there you have it. Now you know how to get everything. And that's going to be all the time that we have for today. But, real quick, I'll show you the reason for all of that. To be able to make this wand foci, which is the very first bit of wand foci is the wand focus fire. I'll show you how to craft these next time. Now, I need more Precantatio to get the focus pouch. To make Precantatio, I can come in here and I can actually... Oh, I thought I could. Hang on. Oh, that's something that you can learn by research. One of the research expertise upgrades will give you the ability to see how to create aspects from the table itself. But I can come in here and check out that Precantatio is made with vacuous and potentia. So I'm going to make myself some more Precantatio. Vacuous and potentia. And I'm going to need 5, so I'm going to use up all 4 of my potentia doing that. Then I can come in here and go to Thaumaturgy and learn how to create... Oh, I need 8 vacuous. That's okay. I know a great source of lots of vacuous. If I... Actually, you know what? I want to use a completely empty one for maximum amounts of vacuous. The creator of Mine Factory Reloaded, or at least the person currently in charge with it, decided that deep storage units, because they can store millions of items, have a lot of vacuous. There we go. 2,000 vacuous. Fantastic. Isn't that awesome? I love it. So that should take care of my needs in vacuous for quite some time. And poof, now I know how to create the focus pouch. And I'll get into exactly what an arcane workbench is and how I can craft that and complete this quest in the next episode. Because I'm going to continue with the Euro Wizard Steve until I've done as much of it as I can right now. And I'm going to tell you something, with the resources that I have, I can probably complete this entire quest line before I move on to anything else. So, thank you very much for joining me. I hope you're enjoying the series. If you are, please like, comment, subscribe. It helps me out an awful lot. And join me tomorrow for more Thaumcraft and maybe some starting into blood magic. Also, in the description below, you will find a link to the world as is. I'm going to put all of my stuff into this chest right here, this golden chest next to the cake and the research table. Things are not exactly, well organized at the moment. I was not planning very far in advance on offering world downloads, but hey, it'll be a good time. One thing of note, you will have to start at the beginning of the quest line. All of these lives and everything are saved to my player name, and the quest progression is as well. So you're going to have to start from the very beginning in the first quest of learning to skyblock, even if you download this world. However, you'll have a ton of resources and a bunch of systems in place to be able to do that. And if you want to get this metal processing up and running quickly, all you need to do is come up here, toss a bunch of hammers of your choice into that chest, turn this guy to redstone ignored, and flip that lever. So, once again, thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time.